Confidence is a major motivator and can be a big factor in success. These celebrities and notable people share their definitions of it and experiences with it. These powerful words of wisdom say the same. Mr. Naveen Lakkur is the Chief Innovation Coach at the Institute of Inspiring Innovation. He aids the corporate to build robust innovation culture, a serial entrepreneur turned innovation coach. Naveen loves to inspire enterprises and entrepreneurs to innovate and guide them to grow in the right direction. In his professional career spanning 25 plus years in the industry worldwide, he has co-founded several innovative companies. He has also been a catalyst for 250 plus ideas to have become commercial realities. Can we welcome an extraordinary individual with some exciting applause, our first speaker of the day.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, nice. Can we have our slides, please? Thanks for the introduction and thanks for bringing me up here and having some interaction with a very diverse set of people, right? It's been very interesting to meet, all age groups, people from all age groups, different fields. So I had some good morning time. Let me start my talk with this topic, of course, the theme is inclusion and diversity, right? And wanted to give some context to it. And this context of my talk is going to be on enabling innovation. So inclusion and diversity in the context of enabling innovation. I've been an innovation coach as a serial entrepreneur turned innovation coach. As a coach, I've learned one thing. I've become a better student. So I get to learn in an accelerated mode. So while there was this introduction, let me also take this opportunity of introducing my book by name Inseparable Twins. Okay, and this has also been translated into Kannada now. It's called Avali Javali Sutragal, and maybe many more languages to come. And this book is to inspire innovation and inspire entrepreneurship. It's actually 12 paired principles to inspire young minds. And there are 3 characters in this book. One by name Abby, the other is by name Proppy, and the third is Lucky. Abby is a male elephant, is a big guy, Tusker, right? So when he moves, he makes his presence felt. Everybody looks at him and turns towards him. He brings a smile on everybody's face. That is who he is. He's somebody who believes he's a leader and a natural leader. And when the herd needs him, he's there in the front. He's somebody like a happy-go-lucky guy, enjoys doing one thing at a time, very creative, and he says he's synonym to happiness. And the other side, which is Proppy. And Proppy, she's a beautiful, beautiful lady elephant, and she's got beautiful eyes, and she loves her earrings. And she's somebody who's a taskmaster, can switch hats as no one's business, just like that. And she's somebody who gets things done. She loves following process. For her, everything is that process. She is somebody who thinks a lot of work can get done, right? And needs to be done. So they are very opposite in nature. And they think, and they always are fighting with each other, nudging each other. And if somebody asks them, why are you fighting, why are you nudging? They say, who said? We are only having constructive conversation. That's the way they react to such comments. And they happen to meet a human friend, and he becomes a friend and eventually a mentor. His name is Lucky. Right? So they are going to be there today. Let's see what Lucky witnesses when he goes down into this little forest area, and he wants to meet Happy and Proppy. And when he goes there, he lands up seeing them literally with the trunk war. Okay, so this is the trunk war, and I told you. And now Happy is going on to say that inclusion is the way for power. right? You want to innovate, then you need to know how to include. And you need to bring people together and, different ideas together. He says inclusion is the way. And while Proppy says no, it's not just inclusion, it's diversity, which actually brings in that variety and, the variation. So diversity is the king. Diversity is something which is more powerful. So, this is what is true, but when they are fighting and they are having this trunk war, nobody even dares to come nearby. And because you never know, you get just stamped, or even a touch of their trunk is good enough, then there'll be a poster on the wall, maybe a garland around, right? So people are very worried. One person can take an attempt, and that is because he's lucky, and that is because he's their mentor. And now that he enters the scene, okay, and he gets to watch them, what they are arguing on and what they are discussing on and what their constructive thoughts are all on. And then he says, actually, you know what? They are inseparable twins. Inclusion and diversity are inseparable twins. They come together. They are like the two sides of the same coin. And when they come together, they unleash new power, right? It's like two eyes seeing one image, and that's in the third dimension. Gives you the depth. Well, they are whole and complete by themselves, but when they come together, you'll get to experience the power. So he says that, and Appy, Proppy, very intelligent beings, elephants, right? So they're very, very intelligent. They're known for their memory, right? And they're known for many, many things. The humble, the power that they have, all that. And here, Appy, through his typical style, asks the question. They both have an ask, and here Appy goes first to say, can you illustrate this inseparable twin with an example? He loves stories. He's a creative guy, I told you. So he wants to hear some story and what happens and how it is can be illustrated by an example. And whereas Proppy pops up and she says, as much as you want to do that, what are the benefits of them becoming inseparable twins? I told you, she means business. She wants to know what are the benefits. So these are their asks. Now, can Lucky say no to them? It's very hard to say no to these two guys. They are just amazing beings. And they are so inspiring. So now he's got a task on his hands. So what he does is goes to one side and clears his throat, and there's the beautiful sugarcane juice out there. He starts sipping. Of course, he gets to sip, but these two get to gulp. That is what they do. And then Lucky starts about one of the article that he had read many, many years ago. And this was an article about a beautiful beach out there in the western side of this world. And this beach is so beautiful in terms of its water, the weather, and the sun, and it's full of these dolphins to all of these beautiful nature. Amongst that nature, people enjoy eating ice creams. And when they like to eat that ice cream, it started becoming very popular for the ice creams. And people love going to that beach and start eating ice cream and enjoying the weather and the water and the scene around. When that is happening, they created a problem. And the problem is that the beach was getting littered. Too much of garbage. Right? Everybody eating ice cream, throwing the paper, the box, and whatnot. All that garbage getting collected there. And then when this is happening, so the footfall started going down to this beach because it was littered. Then people thought it's a problem. Now because it became so popular, this beach, a lot of tourism, and the growth in this region and economic driving factor. This beach became an economic driving factor. So a lot of stores there, employment being created, all being done here. Now the challenge of the footfalls going down. The management or the local corporation there had a task on their hand. They had to solve this problem. They said, okay, one is we think about it and solve. The other is why not we have a brainstorming session. So they wanted to have a brainstorming session. And then they said, okay, let's organize one event and get people from different walks of life. It could be different from different regions, different age group, and it could be people from different fields of speciality. It could be people from different gender and people from literally different religion. So very, very diverse set of people were invited. And when they were invited, the way they organized, a lot of people, hundreds of them, and they put the problem statement out there. And the problem statement said, this beautiful beach and a lot of footfalls used to happen. People used to enjoy the nature, the water, the sun, and now the footfalls have gone down just because there's a lot of litter here. And eating ice cream is a popular thing, and it is a fantastic thing to happen here, and so much of litter. They put that problem statement out there and said, you're welcome to contribute ideas. Go ahead, share your ideas. What do you think can be done? So then, when Lucky started reading the many ideas which came out, and the job of this management council was just to capture every thought which was shared, right? Capture and then figure out later. So they started capturing. There are many ideas. Some of them, which Lucky could recall, was that why not ban ice cream in this, beach? There's no ice cream. Another idea was, impose heavy fines if somebody litters. Another idea was, you have a series of dustbins. In such a way, you throw anything, it will fall into a dustbin, right? Another idea was create a zone where you can eat ice cream only in that ice cream eating zone. Another idea was that, if somebody litters, cane them 3 times, then they will think 100 times before they eat an ice cream or even litter, right? Another idea was that, make it compulsory that you have to eat along with the ice cream, you have to eat the stick, the paper and the box. That is mandatory, you have to eat. And another idea was that, make the price of this ice cream itself, like instead of a $1, make it $100, right? So like that, many ideas. And when Lucky was reading all of these ideas, seemed like, very practical. One was that you create a zone, an ice cream eating zone, seems to be very practical. And where you still continue to have ice cream eating as a fantasy out there in this beach, but it is practical to implement and manage. The one that he thought, it was the thing which is insane, was making it compulsory to eat along with the ice cream, the stick, the paper, the box. That was like, crazy. But what came out of this, what he thought was the craziest one, in fact gave rise to the introduction of cone ice creams, right? Why not? If something is edible, right? Why not? If it is edible, then they innovated on that, and then came this cone ice cream, which is made of biscuit as a container. That you get to eat it along with the ice cream. It's such a fantastic thing and fun thing. And actually, it gave rise to more footfalls because the softies there became very popular, and people started coming more to this beach for experiencing the nature and the ice cream now as a cone ice cream and a softie, right? Look how we thought was something which was crazy, was something which was bringing a lot of benefit, and the innovation which happened. At the same time, what was thought as very practical, it is, but at the same time, this inclusion and diversity. So, well, this story was said by Lucky. Lucky also knows that Appy and Proppy very, very smart, right? So they are very intelligent beings. So he asks, what are the takeaways from the story? So here comes the first one. From the story, example of inclusion and diversity. So Lucky says, he said the story, he wants Appy and Proppy to tell what they got out of this. So the first one that they said is one is the hard work and the smart work as inseparable twins. So Lucky was very curious to know what did they learn and what does it mean. So Appy gets into action and says, organizing this kind of a, event where people were called, included all kinds of people from different race, from different region, from different religion, from different age groups, demography, all of that is that organizing that event is the hard work, that inclusion which had happened. And while Proppy says it's actually inclusion of this diversity and inclusion and diversity itself as strategy, as part of the strategy to generate ideas, is something which is a very smart way of doing, right? So hard work and smart work as inseparable twins. Now Lucky is very interested. Do you have anything more? Is this question. Right? And here comes the next one from them. They say another takeaway is that the philosophy of give and get. Nature works this way. It's about give and get. Even the sequence matters. Give and then get. And here in this particular story or an example or an event that they did, they had the art of giving the problem statement and like an echo, but not the same sound, but they got many solutions back, right? That is what they got. And here in this story and an example, but give and get is that philosophy. If you want to, what you give comes back to you in multiples. That's the nature's law. So it is important what you give. And in innovation, if it has to be sustainable, you'll have to be thinking holistic. And it is very important that we are able to give, that's our value proposition. So now, intelligent responses like Appy and Proppy giving, Lucky wants to know more. So he says, is there anything more? And these guys won't stop. So they say, one more. Inclusion of that minds. The kind of people that they got in to share their ideas and the thoughts. And those which came out as solutions, right? Possible solutions in a brainstorming. And here, not just inclusion of mind, looks like there was inclusion of this heart, And whereas Proppy says it is the diversity in skills, because innovation itself, just not the ideas and execution, they need to come together. One without the other is kind of incomplete. At the same time, while they are whole and complete. All right? So innovation is bringing those creative ideas, putting them into use, and making it work and bring some benefits. So that's what innovation in short is. And every field needs innovation. If you're not innovating, you're dead. You're gone. You'll be history. And history repeats itself just because we don't get to learn from it. Right? If only we learn from the history, we will start creating. That's the change. We have to be the change makers. Right? And it is innate in everybody. It's just that we need to be conscious, we need to be aware and start practicing it consciously. Right? So now I think Lucky is super inspired of the way Appy and Proppy have learned and they've responded. They don't stop nudging and pushing each other and fighting, that they will continue to say that inclusion is more powerful as against diversity, or Proppy will not give up on diversity is more important than inclusion, where they both understand that they are inseparable twins, especially in the journey of innovation. So Lucky has to step in and also share, so as the mentor speaks. He says idea, when people talk about idea and so on, actually there is an inclusion of three things. as three elements. When people say idea, the bulb starts glowing, and the one aspect of this bulb glowing is that the problem, which is the other element is the solution, and the third is the purpose, right? And when you imagine about the bulb glowing, there is a power source to it, right? Just imagine a 3-pin power source. One, a negative, that the energy, that the electricity that you call the negative, the positive, and the grounding. That is what he says, that problem, solution, and purpose, just to make it easy for Appy and Proppy to remember, because they have amazing memory. So they will anyway, if you give them a way to pick it, and they'll never forget it, right? That is who they are. And Lucky also shares that, results come out of execution. So idea and execution, both are very important, and successful innovators make idea and execution as inseparable twins. And he says that these two will have series of questions. Whenever they get a chance to spend time with Lucky, they want the best out of his every second that they get. So there's one more question based on the trend which is happening. Both innovation is not an option, at the same time it is trending. The other trending thing is AI today, right? So Abby asks a question, is AI a good inclusion for innovation? Think about it. Powerful question. Is AI a good inclusion for innovation? And when Proppy says, does AI create diversity for innovation? Think about it. And it's trending, AI is trending, and so Lucky definitely needs to answer and respond. He says, AI could mean many things, right? One, earlier it used to be known as animal intelligence, and he knows he's talking to these two big animals, beautiful animals, intelligent animals. AI means animal intelligence. AI would means Alliance International. It's all about that manpower from different skills, different regions, how that diversity, they all coming together with diverse skills, and they help in engaging for engagements, manpower consulting agency. The other, which is very popular now, is artificial intelligence, right? So it could be many more things. Like day before yesterday, our Honorable Prime Minister was talking about AI. The next big AI everybody would talk about is America and India, another trending thing, right? So AI, when he said that, Lucky said what he said, Happy was quick and said, what do you mean by animal intelligence? They were so happy that, he mentioned about animal intelligence. So now, dil mange more, asking for a little more, not just for the heart or even for the brain. So Lucky said, one example, cows, as an animal, such a wonderful, soulful being, right? They have amazing intelligence. Earlier days, they understood the wisdom and the power this animal was bringing. So every house used to have cows, and they're so emotional and they're so intelligent. In fact, somebody in the family, if they are unwell, it can sense. And if somebody even touches, it can feel. And even when it licks, it senses, right? To that extent, that it is so intelligent, when it is left for grazing, it goes around, starts grazing, and it can graze such herbs and shrubs that it acts as medicine. The milk acts as a medicine, right? This is an ancient wisdom, and it is a fact, and it is science, right? They are such intelligent beings. Actually, every house wanted to have a family doctor. Cow was actually acting as a family doctor. Ability to understand and solve the health problems. Amazing intelligence, animal intelligence. And an ox, when it is in the farming, it's unlike a machine which just bulldozes everything. It knows where to stand, where not to stand, where other living beings are, where the earthworms are. It manures accordingly, right? So, very intelligent beings. They are very well connected to the whole universe. And they are so connected that they can even sense if there's going to be an earthquake happening out there in the other part of the world. So that intelligent they are. The future is going to be how are we, real intelligence and the artificial intelligence need to come together. That would mean inclusion of even animal intelligence. So there are many things to be done, right? So sustainable and holistic innovation is the need of the hour. Otherwise it could be dangerous, right? And innovation by itself is very good, but along with that human values and the sustainability, I think it's going to make a huge difference. And successful innovators make inclusion and diversity as inseparable twins. With that, Appy and Proppy are so excited, and they want to start a new initiative, and they want to call it that as part of A&P initiative, they've created a vision and a mission for it, which they believe is also another inseparable twin for any new initiative. And vision is, for Appy and Proppy, the vision for their initiative is to create an AI platform, okay, and call it Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The AI, Appy's way, is all-inclusive, right? And inclusion of people, all genders, region, religion, and plants, and, nature, animals, everything possible. It is, and the name itself is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. On the other side, mission. Proppy pops up again and says, we are going to be on this mission, and our mission is to enabling innovation centered around human values so that we can create a social impact. Innovation which can create an impact is what is very required. Otherwise, it's going to impact everybody else, right? And that's going to be harmful. So instead, it has to be constructive. When two things come together, it has to be actually energetic, enthusiastic, and making a difference. So thank you very much, and Appy and Proppy are going to be with you in your innovation journeys, and include them, and sure, they will bring the diversity that you would have never even thought about. So inclusion and diversity as inseparable twins is in the innovation journey can bring you happiness and prosperity. Thank you very much. Love you all.